Alden Young is an associate professor of African studies at the University of California, Los Angeles. He joins me now live from LA. Professor, good to have you on with us. As we know, this ceasefire has been extended. Do you hope that it could lead to possible peace negotiations between the warring sides?
I think that's the most important thing at the moment. I mean, it's one of the great unknowns. Many people think that perhaps both sides are using the ceasefire to let those who hold international passports and international citizens evacuate so that they can begin fighting again. But I think right now it's very imperative that, forums like IGAD, the African Union, the United States, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates all put their pressure on the warring parties in Sudan to actually move this into a permanent peace process.
Are these ceasefires making any real difference on the ground, do you think? Or for people who are living through this, do you see much difference at all?
I mean, there is some humanitarian relief, but unfortunately, the ceasefires are periodically violated. We see that the suffering in places like Darfur is getting worse. And as your news report pointed out, it's really I don't think the true magnitude of the tragedy has even been revealed to the world yet. Um, People, of course, are beginning to run out of food, water. So many people are sick, and perhaps have died, and even in their own homes. And so, I think the ceasefire needs to be extended for a much longer period of time in order for real relief to be possible.
You talk about the humanitarian situation. We are seeing growing numbers of refugees fleeing across Sudan's borders. Officials saying 14,000 entered Egypt. The UN says some 20,000 have reached Chad. What does this all mean for the larger region to have this influx of refugees?
I mean, unfortunately, the larger region is already deeply unstable and suffering, and it's only going to make matters worse. I mean, Chad will struggle to support the 20,000, which may become even more. Many people are going into South Sudan as well. Those numbers are not quite as clearly known. Um, Egypt needs international support in order to provide for the many refugees that are coming in. And we don't know, unfortunately, how long it will take before these refugees are able to return home. It will also take an international effort to rebuild Khartoum and its infrastructure and major cities in Darfur like Al Fasher, Al Janin. Um, the international community, after the fighting stops, will have to play a huge role in helping to rebuild these places.
And what are some of the larger risks for Sudan? Because it's not just the warring sides battling each other, because as we talk about the dire situation facing people running out of fuel, supplies, water, and food, we're looking at situations of armed groups battling each other and looting shops and homes.
I think the most worrying thing, if the fighting continues for several more weeks, is one, there's a humanitarian disaster, people running out of food, fuel, water, supplies, medicine, but also the mobilization of even more armed groups. And we're seeing reports of this both in the East. The Beja Confederation is beginning to mobilize. We're seeing reports of different armed groups mobilizing for popular defense in Darfur. And this fight, the more it drags on, has the possibility of becoming not a fight between just the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces, but a multi-sided civil war. And that, I think, is the real danger, that this could become a very complicated conflict that could take a very long time to restore peace.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Alden Young joining us from LA. Alden, thank you.